Hi. Hi, Norman. Thanks very much for taking time out to chat to us. It's much appreciated as always. It's good to see you, first of all, and good to be here at a very sunny Kirwan Park. Absolutely glorious here today. How's lockdown treated you? Looks like you've treated you better than it has treated me anyway, so I must stay out of camera if that's okay with everybody.
That's fine, John. We better stay socially distanced anyway. Uh, Great, thanks. Good to see you too, and thanks for joining me up in Curran Park here today. It's a great place to be, wearing shades and flip flops on a beautiful sunny day. Lockdown has been interesting, certainly. Thankfully, everybody personally and people from the club have, in the main, got through this with challenges that we've all faced. But fingers crossed, we're on the right side of things now, and hopefully we'll be able to continue to look towards a brighter road ahead.
Good stuff. And just as you mentioned there, now that we can start to look forward, given the recent government announcements there over the last couple of weeks, obviously the accelerated return to a new normal, could you give us a quick update on matters from a Salmo and a rugby perspective, please?
Sure, I think everything is like everything in all walks of life at the moment is moving at such a rapid and dynamic pace that things are changing literally day to day. As late as last night, we got a further email from the IRFU regarding the updated return to play protocols. So they're moving at a very fast basis. We're having to react to that. We've spent the last period while we could, again, obviously observing all our protocols up here within reason. We've been able to use the time to plan for our return to play while not having a specific date. Now we know that we can return to play once we have our club COVID safety plan in place. Delighted that Cathal Ryan has taken on the role of COVID safety officer for the club. And Cathal has done a lot of work with the committee, including myself and others, over the last 2 weeks in particular, to start putting that in place and get ready to implement it. So all things being equal, we hope to be in a position to open up the club the week of the 20th of July. It may slip a week, but we certainly will be ready to go from the following week. We obviously need then to decide what level of activity we will approach in the initial couple of weeks. And from there, we will take it on a graduated return to club activity. Obviously, while we all want to run back and literally and metaphorically onto the fields up here, we need to make sure that safety of everybody, all our members and guests, is paramount. We'll make sure that we do that on a controlled basis over that period.
Sure, good stuff. And if we can also, just for a moment, maybe just take a reflection back on last season. Obviously, in some ways, it was a mixed season. We had a challenging campaign there in Leinster 1B.
Yeah.
The under 20s went around the province ripping up trees, and we also had the Metro 7 side and the under 18s with positive, although unfortunately truncated campaigns.
Yes. I think it was a challenging season, is right. Unfortunately, it got truncated. I think, first of all, it was the right decision by the authorities and by the RFU to stop and suspend play when it happened, and I think we realised at that stage with the situation on the health front that we probably wouldn't be coming back up to the club. As you say, it unfortunately ended seasons prematurely for the Metro 7 and under 18 and a half teams, which were going very well and were within a very good chance of claiming silverware. In a bizarre way, the stars seem to have aligned for the under 20 group, that the very last game of the season that was played on the top pitch up here was the effective cup final, which ensured that they secured the league with a 100% record. So firstly, I'd like to congratulate all the players and everybody involved with that group. So we got to that point, I suppose, with the senior group. We had a disappointing season. There's no point hiding that. We have had to just probably take it on board and take it on the chin and move on from there. The season started well with a win, but it just didn't happen for us, and that's probably the best way to describe it without labouring the detail on it. But unfortunately, when you look around us today, this was a time of year where, or the March to May period certainly was a time of year when we would have been coming into heavy activity, and times where people would have been up here having a coffee or a beer and watching rugby in the sun. And we lost that window, but again, we lost it for obvious reasons. So we've taken the opportunity in the meantime to accelerate our planning towards next year, and I know we'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm delighted that we're in good shape for the return when it does come in due course.
Absolutely, yeah. It was about probably this time last year, maybe slightly later, that we talked, and at the time, a major theme then was the need to build from within the club and make it more sufficient as regards the playing roster. Mm-hmm. Are you happy are you happy with where we are now on that front? Imagining that it's more of a journey than a destination.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. It isn't going to happen instantly. We never expected that it would. So it was always going to be that journey, as you describe it, John. What we have now in the context of this year's incoming senior squad is we've got a highly motivated group which incorporates a strong bunch of lads who were in the senior squad last year with some changes. Some people have moved on. We've recruited nicely. We've a number of fellas coming into the club who I believe will be great additions to the senior squad and to the club as a whole. And we'll be integrating about 17 or 18 of last year's under-20 squad into that senior group. So we have a squad on the senior front that we believe will number in the early 50s, which is phenomenal. A lot of them will be our own players that we've grown indigenously over the years, and we've recruited what we believe, as I say, are good people and good players into that group. So I'm very positive. Back on the youth side, again, that under 18 and a half group, a lot of them will be eligible to play at that level again next season, and a lot of them will move into the under 20s. So if we take a step back from a sustainability point of view, we have a strong senior squad, we have a very good metro squad, and then we've got good groups coming through in under 20, under 18 and a half, and a huge amount happening on the mini youth front. So take into account then the other side of the house, we have the girls and ladies teams who have come on apace over the last season, and obviously the fantastic Eagles and Hawks teams. So we're in a good place. We've got a good bit of planning still to do over the next couple of weeks as we head in towards late August, early September, where the full season will get going again. But I think we're in good shape and on the road on that journey that we talked about where we want to head towards.
Excellent. And you made mention there some new faces on the coaching front. We announced those a little while back there.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the new lads, for those folks who wouldn't be as familiar with them, and how you see them fitting in and sort of taking things forward?
Sure. Well, Niall Smullen, who was the assistant coach, looked after the forwards with the senior squad last year, has stepped up and taken on the role of head coach. And people know Niall. A lot of people will know him from his playing days here and will know him from coaching last season as well. He's vastly experienced. I think for me, one of the great things is he knows the club, he understands the club. He and I are of a like mind in terms of our sustainable strategy, and that's very important from a working relationship point of view. So I think Niall's put in huge amount of effort over the last couple of months in making sure that we're in a good space and ready to go when the senior squad get back to training proper. Niall will be supported by James Nolan, who is a player. He plays in the centre, can play out half as well. He'll be a player coach who will look after predominantly skills in the backline alignment. And Stephen Duffy, who again will be a player coach, he plays full back. His predominant requirement from a coaching point of view will be to deal with kicking across the group and back three defensive work. And we also have Carl Moran in the group, Lego as he's known to a lot of people around the club, who will work predominantly with the under-20s, but will also have a remit across the club with regard to breakdown and back row defensive work. So from a senior squad point of view, I'm very comfortable with the blend. It's an exciting opportunity for me as well to work with a couple of young player coaches in the back line. So it'll be very much a case of everybody working together. Very importantly from my point of view, John, we also have strong groups involved now ready to coach the second team and the Metro 7 team. So on that point, it's a big plus for us next season that we now have 3 adult teams. All the people who are involved in that group are people, there are too many to name at the moment, but people who have been involved in the club in a coaching or managerial or off-field capacity over the last while. And I think a really strong blend of skill and experience across that group, which augurs well. We'll have a number of new people coming through in the under 20 and under 18 and a half group, but again, continuity is the major focus. And on the ladies and girls side, under Glenn and Marianne on the ladies side, and Liza and Maeve on the girls side, I think we're really well placed. And then of course we have the eternal Dave Hicks looking after the Eagles and the Hawks. So in a very good space, people who importantly understand the club and the makeup of the club and the people in the club and what we're trying to achieve over the period.
Okay, great stuff, exciting times, lots to look forward to there. And a new club captain, Ian Burke, a very popular choice. You've known Ian in a good while now. Can you give us a bit of an insight into him and the attributes that you see him bringing to the role?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose first of all, his namesake Ian O'Connor, I'd just like to go on record to thank him for his efforts as club captain last season. It was a difficult season on the field for everybody for the reasons that we've discussed already, but I thought Ian did a great job and did everything he could to rally the troop. And I think it's testimony to Ian O'Connor that a significant number of the players, despite the difficulties that we have, are coming back to play and remain in the senior squad for next season. So thank you to Ian for all of that. With regard to Ian Burke, well, he'd probably say himself, he's famous around the club. He's part of the famous Burke family. Carl is a past president. Kate is very heavily involved off the field. Kevin, his brother, is in the senior squad, and we obviously, of course, have our tremendous under-7 festival for their late brother Kieran, and the family's involvement in the club has been fantastic over a number of years, and I think that's a very important thing for a club that's very much community and family based, to have somebody like that. Aside from the family link, I think Ian is going to be a leader by example, and by word. He certainly won't. He's not shy, and he won't be shy as captain. But I think he will lead by word and example on the field. He's already driving the group in terms of their off-season work that they're doing themselves. He's continually in contact with them over WhatsApp and various different Zoom meetings that we've had. And he's very ambitious and very focused on driving the group back to where we want to get to next season.
Right, well, we're all looking forward to seeing Ian lead them out onto the
Indeed.
pitch down there. On that note, we're obviously blessed with this glorious sunshine today and a fabulous view out over the pitches. They're looking absolutely terrific. It's a huge testament to the folk who've been working away here over the last couple of months. I'm sure you must be delighted with the way the place is looking.
Absolutely thrilled, and there's more still to do over the next couple of weeks, and the people that have been doing all the work over the last couple of months will be rolling sleeves up again on Sunday. There's more painting of the clubhouse going around. We've done any number of things. If and when we look around here and we see the state of the pitches and how well they are, and the surrounds as well, and the grounds, we've a lot of logistic changes that we're going to make. We were originally planning to do them anyway, but the COVID health requirements will oblige us to do certain things around moving people around in different ways and looking at different access points and health stations and things like that. New signage, everything that goes with that, but we'll be in a really good space for the start of the season, and I think everybody, when they do hopefully get back up here over the next number of weeks and months, will be really impressed with what they see. It's opportune for me to say thank you to all those people. There are too many of them to mention, but the people who have selflessly given of their time over the last number of months in what are difficult circumstances for everybody, to have the place looking at it is just fantastic. And again, it's a great example of the membership of this club and how people row in together to make sure it's right for everybody else.
Absolutely, well said. And yeah, of course, we're all looking forward very much to getting back playing, and when we do, it's fair to say that, like every other aspect of sort of what will be normality that we're working towards, getting there will be due in no small measure to the efforts of the many first responders, of whom we number many within the club, essential workers and frontline workers. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you'd like to take the opportunity to pay tribute to them on behalf of the club.
Absolutely, John. I mean, I think we've all gone through our personal travails and ups and downs over the period of time, but it's imperative that we don't forget the people who are right at the front line. And I think, as the Taoiseach said last night, first and foremost, the guards, the paramedics, the people who are at the front line across the board working in hospitals, but also the people who are coach drivers, supermarket workers. They're all heroes as far as everybody around the country is concerned, and we really appreciate, from a club point of view, everything that they have done over that period of time. In particular, I'd like to take the opportunity to reiterate our condolences to the several guards that are members of the club on the tragic loss of their colleague in Castlebar last week. A horrendous situation, and I know they all felt it in their very, very tight community, so I pass those condolences on again on behalf of everybody in Salmo.
Thank you. We obviously had some great news there come through yesterday. A couple of the under-16 lads selected for the Leinster Metro Development Squad. It's obviously a fantastic reflection on the good work being done there.
It was absolutely great, John. Delighted for Shane Stokes and Will Saunders from the under-16 groups who've made it through to the Leinster Metro Development Squad. It's a great reflection on the two lads, first and foremost, but also all their teammates in Salmo who've put them on that platform and given them the opportunity to play well and be recognised like that. And for their coaches, Gavin and Adam, and their families as well. It's a great honour. There are other players in that group who were unlucky not to make it. Harry Byrne in particular, who got very close to it at the end. Fabulous player. He'll have an opportunity in the future. But super news, and to Shane and Will, well done fellas, you thoroughly deserve it. Delighted for you.
Great stuff. Thanks, Norman. We're going to wrap it up there. We'll let you get out of the sun and get back to the planning, because it sounds like there's a lot more to do, to borrow a phrase.
Yeah.
Apologies. Thanks again for your time. It's been really great to chat to you.
Likewise, John. Thank you.
And the very best luck for next season. We look forward to seeing teams run out here again and
Thank you.
getting going again.
Fingers crossed. Thanks very much, John.
Thanks, Norman.
Cheers.